All right, so welcome to the gut microbiome, and we're going to show you people's gut microbiome. And obviously, I'm not going to share any medical information here, but I'd like you to see some things about the test before you decide to buy it. If you hear classical music in the background, there is some classical music playing, so I apologize for that in advance. Hope you like classical music, and if you do, you may get a little snippet of Mozart here. But what you're going to notice is on these gut microbiome tests. So you have the index, you have the diversity, you have the richness, you have pathogens, you have keystone species. And if you're not familiar with keystone species, think about a beaver. They're very low in abundance, but they have a detrimentally large effect on the environment. So if a beaver decides to build a dam and then floods something, that'd be very bad. So keystone species are extremely important for the gut microbiome. You're going to notice as I tab through different testing right here, all of the functions, everybody is unique and different. And if you haven't watched the video for the nutrigenomics testing, you're going to see once again that everybody's genetics are different, everybody's gut microbiome is different. So please, if you take anything away from this video, stop taking nutrition advice from people who don't have any data on you as a human being, because data is in fact the language of the future. You're going to get older. We want your gut microbiome to be in very, very great shape. So as I tab through, you're going to see one person's functions, look, they were doing pretty good over here. Quite well. This person, not that good at all. So the recommendations that we would give for one person to the other person are going to be completely different. And I'm going to show you a document that has a breakdown of what our recommendations would look like. And it's a lot of information, but that information may seem overwhelming at first, but in time, you're going to really understand all of this, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes that got you here. Because this is an example of a person that was actually consuming a lot of fast foods. They didn't have a diet, and alcohol was a part of their diet as well, which is known to unbalance the gut microbiome like crazy. So you can see this person has dysbiosis, they have pathogens, they're missing keystone species, and their functions are pretty much all out of range. And having low GABA is known to cause depression and anxiety in human beings. And this person was experiencing depression and anxiety. So if you have depression and anxiety and you haven't started looking at your overall health, that would be a great start. I'm just going to tab through the rest of these really quickly just to show you, this person had low alpha diversity, decent beta diversity. But as you can see, every single person is just a little bit different. Indole, you see that one twice right there? Two people have low indole. And what is indole? I'll show you in the test down below. So you can see everybody's a little bit different. If you have dysbiosis, you definitely want to get that checked out. If you have pathogens, you may need to go to a doctor. This can even prevent certain illnesses and diseases from forming in your body. So there's a lot of things inside of this test that would be valuable to you. And depending on what pathogens are present, you may need to go see your actual doctor and get some additional testing. So these are what the tests look like. And now let me show you some more stuff. So now we get into the fun, nerdy science stuff that we nerd out over. So you don't have to worry about it because we're going to simplify it. But these are recommendations. And now these recommendations that you're looking at are coming from the gut microbiome and the nutrigenomics testing. And if you haven't watched the nutrigenomics video, I implore you to watch that one because that's going to help us understand if your gut does need re-inoculated, what foods do you actually truly need? Because there's different types of foods that do the same thing, but each food has different nutrients inside of it. And when you're trying to optimize your diet, you want to have the most nutrient dense foods that also serve the gut microbiome health. So now what you're going to see recommendation wise, this is for a family. And some of these recommendations may or may not be valuable to each person individually. So please don't take any of these recommendations that I'm about to show you as advice that you should follow. These are based on gut microbiome tests and nutrigenomics tests of a specific individual. So these numbers right here may not be accurate for you, so please do not follow them. Because you may have a diet where you're getting enough fiber, you may not have a diet where you're getting enough fiber. So as we start to break down everything, we give you the individualized recommendations. So, like for instance, if you don't have the bacteria in your gut that is essential for fiber production, which means you're consuming foods and they don't have fibers, so your gut microbiome's out of whack, this is where we would start to give recommendation. As in, start with like 1.25 grams because a lot of people with fiber, if you just start devouring fiber, you're going to poop your brains out. It's literally going to feel like you're walking. Not to sound gross, but you just trust me on this one. you introduce too much fiber too fast, you're going to know that you got too much fiber too fast. Now, with vitamin C, we give the breakdowns into the dosages. This is in the nutrigenomics where it shows us the elevated gene expressions and requirement for nutrients that you need. And then we break down each individual meal. So, like, meets 90% of all nutrient requirements. And then these are nutrient broken down in the foods. So, like, we're trying to solve your diet problems for the rest of your life to really truly see, okay, here's 7.1 grams of zinc, 926 grams of calcium, here's 9.2 milligrams of iron, to the actual specific needs of yourself as an individual. And then we put all of those down into breakdowns. Like take your prebiotic, take your omega-3, take your probiotic, megaspore, depending on your gut microbiome health, which you may need pre or probiotics depending on how bad your gut actually is. So you're going to see that everything is individually broken down. Like add your psyllium husk to your yogurt instead of drinking it. Because honestly, drinking psyllium husk is like, you can just see my face right now. It's like not knowing to drink apple cider vinegar with water and thinking you're a badass because you're taking a shot of apple cider vinegar when you're just burning your esophagus. So we try to make these as easy as possible. Like psyllium husk is nasty, so just put it in your yogurt. Bam, there you go. A little bit of yogurt might be good for you depending on your genetics. This person's genetics can support it, and they also like milk and cheese. So their genetics are not against lactose. So boom, there you go. They got the enzymes. So each individual breakdown comes in forms of meals. When we're talking about your dysbiosis, we will give you if there are actions needed or actions not needed. So each person is going to get their own individualized breakdowns. And then right here, talking about smoking. So exercising, walking, different ways to remove toxins from your body. So for instance, you would think, okay, like how do I get toxins out of my body? And this is in genetics too as well. Like if you have higher oxidative cellular damage, you would need to do different things than other people. Like stress kills, stress alters the gut, stress alters your genetics. Stress truly does kill a human being. So just to scroll through here, I just want to let you see that each recommendation comes from each different thing that we have. So increase resistant starches, increase cellulose. Every single piece of your gut microbiome test will be determined, and you will get a list of things that you need to do to re-inoculate your gut. So here is that. And now I'm going to go back over to the gut microbiome testing just to show you. And then also you're going to have consultations with the dietitian. So don't be overwhelmed by any of this. You'll have time to ask all of your questions and get all of your answers. So now we jump over into keystone species. And remember, think of a beaver here. If water is flowing and a beaver builds a dam, that could cause a lot of damage to the overall environment. So your keystone species are low in abundance, but they have detrimentally large effects on the overall composition of the gut microbiome health. So I'm going to tab through some testings here just so you can see why these are valuable. Each person's going to have different levels. So you can see detected, not detected in certain areas, GABA producers, majority of it coming from the gut microbiome health. One person has it, one person does not have it. So this is where, like, are you eating foods that produce GABA, which is an essential neurotransmitter in the brain that lowers your stress? I think it's by 40%. So you're going to see that everybody has different levels across the board. So this is something that we're kind of trying to figure out on our own. Like, why is every single person missing a majority of their keystone species in their gut microbiome health? Like, what is wiping out the keystone species? As you can see, not detected a majority of people's gut microbiome. And finishing us off here, boop, 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 boop. And there's even more. So let's go break down each individual piece just to show you what you're going to get. All right, so in these tests and how we're able to give our interpretations are based on the results. So you can see here, this person has no GABA production and no glutathione production coming from their gut microbiome health. Now, unfortunately, yes, high-fat diets, so a lot of people doing the ketogenic diet are going to have lower levels of GABA, which is produced in the prefrontal cortex, so 40% specifically. Mood imbalances, difficulty sleeping. So ask yourself, do you have problems sleeping? Do you have mood imbalances? Because this provides a protective calming effect on the body and the brain itself. So when you're missing GABA, you might have issues with your mood. You might have problems sleeping properly. Now, glutathione, okay, so free radical production and oxidative damage throughout the body. In the genetic testing, you're going to see that some people have higher levels of cellular oxidative damage. So imagine if you have higher levels of cellular oxidative damage, you're not optimizing your glutathione levels. And I can tell you a lot of people that are into fasting have depleted levels of glutathione. So now, if you haven't read some of the books that we've suggested, this one right here you're going to learn is the mind-gut connection. So you're going to be able to learn how the belly is the brain. A lot of the neurotransmitters go from the gut to the brain, which right here you can see, once again, indole production. Indole also functions as a signaling molecule that may be increased during latent infections, which obviously might not have infections, so don't worry. But indole production must be balanced. So this is one in your gut microbiome. With balancing the gut microbiome, you can have too much or too little. Too much causes a problem, too little causes a problem. So too much indole produces unwanted mood and cognitive changes. Yet insufficient indole may show that there is damage in the gut microbiome barrier. So, you know the leaky gut that people talk about? Maybe you don't know the leaky gut that people talk about. You can check out a book that would be called, hang on one sec. This would be the Plant Paradox by Stephen Guthrie. Talks about the gut barrier itself. And then leaky gut. Oh, and the book called An Inflamed Mind, or The Inflamed Mind. Talks about how low-grade inflammation would be like leading causes of depression in our life. And imagine if our gut microbiome was not properly producing what we needed to be able to balance our mood and cognition. And I can tell you, if you check out the Reset Button program page, there are many people that have gotten off of tons of medications. And let me show you a quick review. So unfortunately, I can't share who these reviews are from, but you can see the recommendations you gave me for my gut microbiome test helped me leave my medications and definitely helped me understand what I should be eating. So there is change on the horizon if you're looking for it. And let me show you another review. So just to share some more, this is Thomas right here. So Thomas lost 90 pounds in 5 months. By following some of the resources we have down below, my anxiety and depression has been way more stable. And when it comes to people getting off their medications, I don't want to put them on the internet, but since I altered my life with your program, I got off antipsychotics and I am healthier for it, no joke. And then this is the point where I'm not going to continuously just throw all of these in your face. Each person is an individual. And that's why we specifically do gut microbiome testing, nutrigenomics testing, blood testing. We'll take some of your hair if you have hair. If you're like me, might be a little bit hard, but there's still some hair there, I promise. So you can see somebody lost 50 pounds over here. You can see somebody else over here losing a bunch of weight. The whole goal of all of this is to build a support system for you. So with every testing, you're also going to get a copy of our Reset Button program, which currently, as of 2/18/2023, we have a gut restoration dietitian. We have somebody who's going to teach you how to grow your own food. We have somebody who's going to teach you the emotional intelligence, spiritual enlightenment, so you can reduce the amount of stress. We got a personal trainer that's going to teach you how to move your body so you don't have to go to the gym anymore, because being a gym bro is overrated. And then there's some things with e-commerce for online income. We have a genetic counselor coming into the program here soon. You have your boy Truly Ray here going to teach you how to do sales and marketing. And this program doubles up as a program that teaches you how to make money on the internet and also get your health and mindset in check. And then there is a ton of additional resources on the page down below. So let me go over to this page really quickly and just walk you through. If you watch the first video, you have a very clear understanding of this page itself. And you're going to see some alterations here in the future. But down below here, we've got the books, we've got the Homeostatic Line, we have grocery store tours, weight loss, microbiome. And we have documents attached to each one of these as well, just to give you some more information, some links to books, some links to research papers. And I could say this. Everything that I wish existed when I first started all of this stuff now exists for you in form of documents and research books, or research and books. Because all of this stuff might seem crazy at first to think that there's a protein in your brain that can make you smarter if you optimize it. But I challenge you to spend a year optimizing it and see how much your life actually changes if you follow our homeostatic line. So I really appreciate you for taking the time to watch these videos. Feel free at any moment in time at the very bottom of the page to book a call and have a conversation. These calls are completely free. So let us know if you're interested in testing. Let us know if you're interested in diet plans. Whatever you need, we're here for you. Not whatever you need, okay? Within the parameters of our website. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of the videos on the website over here. And down below, this is actually a reverse engineer of a research paper that I spent 2 years depressing myself and undepressing myself. And then I was convinced, okay, so the gut microbiome health is definitely a key component in all of this. And here I am, years and years and years later, now with empirical evidence to know better. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching this video. And after everything I explained here, does it sound like a crazy idea that you should consider getting a gut microbiome test and never having to guess again what you should be eating? Because we truly do want to write the diet plan for the rest of your life. And that's something that I've been waiting a very, very long time to say. And I can tell you this company I've wanted to build for a very long time, but I didn't have the correct professionals to be able to build it. And now I do. So I hope you have a beautiful day. And if you need anything, book a call, have a conversation. You're one call away from changing your life. See you soon.